At 5:03 p.m. Secretary, please take attendance.
Senator Gabra. Senator Cervantes.
Here.
Senator Chua.
Yes, here.
Senator Lee. Senator Lopez Polito.
Present.
Senator Dunhush. Senator Rubalcaba.
Present.
Senator Damavati. Senator Yan.
Here.
Senator Lim. Senator Liu.
Here.
Senator Martinez.
Here.
Senator Withrow.
Here.
Senator Gunaman. Senator Saba.
Here.
Senator Kuriakos.
Here.
Senator Munoz. Senator Math.
Yes.
Senator Artunian. Senator Halaka.
Here.
Senator Sanhu.
Here.
Senator Shergill. Senator Gill.
Here.
Senator Calderon.
Here.
Senator Ubu. With that, quorum is
No problem.
and 7.
Is there a motion on the floor to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Are there any objections? Hearing and seeing none, the motion is adopted. Is there a motion on the floor to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda. Second.
Are there any objections? Hearing and seeing none, the motion is adopted. We will now move on to public comment. Are there any members of the public who wish to address the Senate at this time? Hearing and seeing none, we will move on to executive officer reports. Are there any executive officer reports?
Yes. So 1 week from now on Wednesday, next Wednesday, so I will be in Oakland for the UC Council of Presidents meeting with Janet Napolitano. And so far our main focus are protections and support of undocumented students and international students, California middle class scholarships, affordable housing, Title IX, worker compensations, funding for parking infrastructure, divestment from energy transfer partners, unrest on campus associated with non-community members, and global food initiatives. So those will be the main topics on our agenda. So if you would like anything I bring up to Janet Napolitano, please let me know. And SPFB, so we've been having interviews of different clubs on campus every single Tuesday, 3 to 5. So today we interviewed 6 clubs in total. And then we are planning to have a workshop in around week 5 to educate the clubs about the resources available to them. SFAC, so we finished all the interview yesterday, so right now it's just in the process of deciding our nominees. They request that we submit the nominees list by this Thursday. So tomorrow, mental health commissions will be boothing at Anteater's Wellness Fair, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Pacific Ballroom. So here are the flyers. Hope you'll pass this around. And in November, mental health commissions will have movies for mental health in collaborations with the Art with Impact. Next Senate meeting is our budget report, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. And do we have any updates on the e-text?
Yes, so only one senator applied. So Senator Lim and myself will be the ATEC representatives for this year.
For me, food security, we collected 835 meal slips in the last 2 weeks out of the 2,000 cap that we have with dining. We still have winter and spring weeks 1 and 2 to collect the rest of 2,000 swipes. And then Anteaters in Action, we're donating $296 from UCI Give Back to Chalk Children's Hospital. For Student Life and Advocacy, we have the Student Health Awareness Week this week, so please check them out. It's on Ring Road, right in front of Aldrich Hall. They're also getting trained with the CARE office on healthy relationships, all their interns and the commissioners. The garden is installing a sink and a bunch of other risk management protocols so that we can start our program with the Fresh Basic Needs Hub, where we can produce or harvest all the produce from the garden and give it back to the Basic Needs Hub. We're also buying more plants next week, and then starting to garden more, and filling up all the beds of gardens. For vendor fair, we had two concerns, where one vendor tried moving around a policy, but dining will talk to them and figure that out. And then we also had a vendor that tried to go through a loophole, but we fixed the loophole, so now they can't go through the loophole. And then we had a vendor fair last week, so now we've released a vendor fair feedback form. So if y'all use the vendor fair, please fill it out so we know what to put out for the next vendors. And then now student businesses can also buy a vendor or a booth at the vendor fair, so it's at a discounted price. So if you're interested, please let me know. There's also a Facebook event page on Facebook floating around through the AS Facebook page. For sustainability, we're going to be boothing for Earth Week and Spring Quarter, and we're planning that out. We're also boothing for Sustainable in the next few weeks. We're also doing the Sustainability Action Week with collaboration to Anti-Racist Action, which is another commission in my office. Recruitment and Retention is hosting their all-AS meeting tonight from 8 to 9 p.m. There's free 7 leaves and 85 degrees to come through. Legal Clinic is working on researching all the different Legal Clinic resource centers at different campuses so that we can start modulating a plan to bring the Legal Clinic resource center on our campus, so that students can hopefully get free legal aid on our campus. We're also working on hosting a pro bono legal service fair in the winter quarter, so we're getting all those details down. Transportation Commission is working with Anteater Express to come up with like a one-page guide to the Anteater Express and any transportation features or functions that our campus has to offer. We're also working with Lyft to try to find discounted rides, so hopefully that can happen by the end of the year, if not next year. And then International Student Advocacy Officer, they met with the International Senator, and they're trying to think of more concrete ideas of programming efforts for the international student population. They're also meeting with the International Center to work with the International Center to learn more about CBT and CPT, and how there's certain schools that have kind of disregarded it, and they're not letting international students work after their F1 visa expires. So they're going to be hitting some of you all up, some of the school senators, to work with their deans as well. The Basic Needs Policy Officer is working on the OC Meals program to make sure to introduce a policy so that our campus dining areas can accept EBT for the OC Meals program. We're also going through making sure that our Zot&Go accepts EBT, mainly because a lot of students are mostly eligible for CalFresh under very, very certain circumstances. Finally, I just went to Oakland yesterday for the Student Health Insurance Advisory Committee Executive Oversight Board meeting, and then there's a bunch of concerns that were brought up that, according to me, since I'm the chair of our board and at UCI, are not that great, and we need to vote on it next meeting. So I want y'all to take this back to your constituents and ask for opinion. So one of the biggest concerns was that there was a parent at UCSD that told UCSD's Student Health Center that this student was continuously withdrawing from their campus just to make use of UC SHIP. So how UC SHIP works is if you withdraw from the campus, you're still enrolled in the student health insurance for the entire quarter, but you're not, you're paying for it, so you're not getting any refund back, and you're only getting, depending on the day that you withdraw from, you're only getting that certain amount of percentage of tuition back. Which they see as a bad thing, but I personally, this has only been one case. And this one case has also been like something that has been self-reported, and we have no proof of it. We haven't seen any statistics, so they're trying to create more bureaucracy where students who withdraw cannot get student health insurance. And this is a huge concern because oftentimes when students withdraw from a campus or from their academic quarter, it's because of health reasons and they need health insurance for it. Give me 1 second after I finish. And then the second thing is for the Bus Love and ARC Advisory Board and all the other campus advisory boards, we're going to be finalizing our reps by the end of this week. And then I opened up the Hill Advisory Board applications today because our bylaws just got finished with the Hill. They do not need to be passed through Senate because it works like the Student Center board, where it's a separate entity from AS. Yeah.
The problem on the students withdrawing from the school and still having student health insurance. You said the insurance is not refunded, so what's the problem?
Yeah, so that's exactly my point. What they're seeing is when these students are withdrawing from the campus, even though they're paying, they're the high utilization people because they're utilizing a lot of resources and benefits that come with the health insurance, right? And this health insurance plan is a self-funded model where only UC students can get it for such a cheap price. We get it for $1,300, $1,500 per quarter, and it's a platinum plan if you compare it to other plans. And if you go outside, it's usually $2,000 per month for this kind of a plan. So they're seeing this as a big offset, even though it's one person and there's no statistics to, support their plan.
Wait, you say people could pay $2,000 per month for healthcare plan?
Yeah, that's outside of UC.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So the model that we have is a self-funded model where UCOP works on their own health insurance and with Anthem.
Are there any other executive officer reports? All right, thank you. Could you state again just what room the LAS meeting is? That way.
Yes, it's Doheny Beach 8.
Okay, thank you. All right, so with that done, we'll move on to special committee reports. There are no special committees currently standing. So we'll now move on to old business. We have no items under old business, so we'll now move on to new business. Item 1, B54-02, ASUCI Senate Office computer chairs for 10 minutes. Will the second please give a reading?
Legislation B5402, whereas the ASUCI Senate Office only has 2 fully functioning office computer chairs, and there exists a proven need to have more chairs, such as the senators may adequately use the office and fulfill their duties, including office hours, whereas the chairs that were ordered for the ASUCI main lobby and the ASUCI commissioner will fully function adequately and are at a reasonable price, whereas the desks in the Senate office can adequately fit 6 of the chairs of the type ordered last year, whereas the requisition of 4 Senate office chairs shall break down as follows: computer chairs times 4, $64.99, grand total $259.96. Therefore, let it be resolved that $259.96 be withdrawn from the Senate unallocated account number 6501-7805 for the purchase of 4 Amazon Basic mid-black office chair black. Therefore, let it be resolved that these 6 chairs be for the exclusive use of the Senate and are not to be removed from the Senate office for any reason except at the discretion of the Senate. So, pretty basic. We're buying chairs. There's a lot of you who like to come to the Senate room. That's not a bad thing. We just want more functioning chairs so that we can all adequately sit, and that's cool. We have a lot of enthusiasm. Let's keep it up. We just need new chairs.
Is tax also included within the grand total?
So this is the price that I got from Amazon.
Okay.
So yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
I'm for this bill too, but I was wondering if you're thinking I'm not thinking from like a price point, but from more, like reduce, recycle kind of point. If we could look into like quality youth chairs, I don't. That could be more of an effort. I mean, if like this whole Senate is not down for that, then I would still pass this bill. But I was just wondering if we could like venture into that.
Yeah. So since this is a bill and it does have to go through finance, that's actually a good thing that maybe finance, if they want to take the lead on looking at whether we could get something better for a similar price or, a good price. That is something that I could look into. So Senator Chi and then Senator Damavandi.
Yeah, regarding buying used chairs, is there anyone that is like a Craigslist veteran? So we can have a person
Craigslist
searching
veteran,
for
like
us.
someone who knows how to use Craigslist well.
I sold some stuff on Craigslist.
And is willing to take the, risk on personal safety to actually buy these chairs.
Okay.
Off
Wait,
Craigslist.
it cannot be on anything like Craigslist because you have to produce a receipt,
Oh.
and that's the only way you can get reimbursed. So if you want to pay out of pocket,
Let's not happen, we're using public money.
Wait.
Yes, Senator Damavandi.
I think we can find cheaper chairs like in the $50 range for the same kind, so we could like definitely find like cheaper chairs. I don't know about the whole like find used because they could be defective and they're not as like cleanly.
So Senator Math and then Vice President Elliott.
Vice President did bring up something important that how are we gonna pay for it off of Amazon if we're not gonna get reimbursed with the receipt, right?
No,
Amazon
fine.
sends you like a digital receipt.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
digital receipts are acceptable, it's just that things like Craigslist, you don't have a written receipt
Right.
normally, so that's why you can't get reimbursed.
But Amazon works.
Yes.
So the reason that you can't go cheaper is these chairs or any furniture that's bought into campus property has to be approved through EH&S so that they're fireproof and all that regulations. And these ones are approved.
What about Staples ones? Staples ones.
I don't know, you can ask Stephanie.
Yes?
So, can you specify the adjustments available on these chairs?
You've seen the black ones in the lobby?
You mean height adjustable and like
Yeah.
recline? What about lumbar support?
They're the same ones that are in the ASUCI lobby, which is by itself for the Senate office so that we can replace them in the open.
Why do we have different ones in the office in the first place?
That's just the way it's gone over the years.
There's
It's
scraps.
the-
It's fine.
Scraps.
Those are just like leftover
Yeah.
from
We just scrap them from the
previous
other
years.
offices.
And that's why, like, if you notice in the office right now, we only have 2 chairs that are really ours. The small, like, mid-back ones, those were from the lobby, and so, this is basically to solve the problem of, oh, we're borrowing chairs from the lobby.
Oh.
Yes?
So I just have to say that.
Okay.
Honorable this legislation B5402 to finance committee.
I just wanted to clarify, so in finance, we could,
Wait, hold on.
Just to
Sorry.
clarify, is that a second?
Yes,
Or
is there a
that question?
second? Okay, so hearing and seeing
Second to
none,
what?
motion dies. So Senator Goodman?
I just want to clarify, so in finance, we could like do some more research and like, if we potentially find chairs that are like cheaper, but almost of similar quality, like, would we be allowed to change? Or amend it?
Committees have the right to amend legislations that are in their committee. Is there a motion on the floor?
A motion to commit B54-02 to finance.
Second.
Right. Are there any objections? Hearing and seeing none, motion is adopted. This legislation is committed to finance. Next on the agenda, we have Senate interview at 5:40. So as you know, we're a little bit ahead of schedule at this time.
Can I go get food?
So, yes.
Motion to take a recess for 10 minutes?
Can we do committee?
Yes.
Oh, you can move forward, yeah, right.
Okay.
Wait, hold up, one second.
Okay. So is there a motion on the floor at this time?
Motion to move committee breakouts to 5:23.
It is good.
So wait, would we have to?
No, we're gonna move it to now.
Yeah, we should
Okay.
just.
So we would need,
Just postpone items, just table items.
okay, yeah, so instead, what we can do is postpone item 6 rather than, or table item 6, my apologies, rather than having to make multiple motions to accomplish the same thing.
No, that's postponing.
Yeah. Table means we're basically putting it aside until the time comes so that we can move to something else instead of basically waiting. So is there, okay, who made the motion to,
What?
who made the motion? Okay, no, sorry. So is there a motion on the floor then?
I move that we table item 6.
Okay.
I second.
Are there any objections? And hearing seeing none, we'll move on with item 16. We'll now move on to item 7, intern program reports. We currently have orientation for the 2 hired interns Thursday at 4 o'clock. And then these 5 interviews we're going through today are almost the last of them. We have 1 more on Thursday because they weren't able to make it today. Other than that, we'll just be working on setting up the program. I will be having Isaac assist me since he does have experience both as Senate Intern Commissioner and the President Pro Tempore. And there's nothing to report. So we'll now move on to item 8, committee breakout for 20 minutes.
Are you over there? Oh, well, I have to go there. We're over here. Why are you like this? It's no one's saying.
It's like 4 against 2, come on. I mean 4 against 3. 4 against 3. Wait, 1 by 3. 5 against 3. I thought we were always going to be usually we have our meetings here.
So I'm like the first person to I am looking at his budget, and then.
So I'll open up public comment.
Did you not respond?
They have some other chairs that are like $10 cheaper.
Yeah?
Because like there's not something at a time, it's how you kind of keep people.
How many chairs are in there right now? We're just gonna replace them. We only have 2 chairs?
We officially have to.
Yeah.
We borrow.
There's other weird chairs.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. That's a good price.
You have one stand-up stage.
Was it?
I don't sit on that.
He wants to correct me, I'm like, I
You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean.
I don't want it.
Oh, it's not?
No, but it's not.
I'm just jealous because.
Yeah.
Wait, I would have one, but then if you look at the one on the school, they get funding from their
I made it about like $12 and then groceries and stuff. And then get lunch. I bought there's like one
Oh my God.
It's the yes.
You want to support the people or?
I mean, like, if you're smart, I mean, I'm curious, like, smart, super active.
Also, no, maybe not. If we could do that, we could check with like if they meet all like the for both, yeah.
Your group breakdown.
And they put that and it's not that.
That was making the.
Okay, next.
Yes.
It's not that way.
Oh, yeah.
You could potentially get like last year there was $10 cheaper, now they.
I mean, Friday.
And then he said, that's you, done.
But you have to get taxed on that.
Yeah, I think yes.
It'll be the same price, you make potentially get better.
Something else to do though?
Okay, wait, we can ask, okay, can I just go back? So, you vote yes? Why you also have people yes? Okay, 1, 2, 3.
More softball, more softball, beat, that's.
I thought you decided.
Put your picture on.
We get 75, 70, and then you just get. Is that Ben Franklin? Yeah, they get it for Ben Franklin. Like, I always take it out.
Like, I don't even mind not getting paid. Like, $0 would be fine for me. Like, to me, $0 is fine. I don't care.
So now we basically want to pay $10,000 a year to get $5,000.
Because they're afraid of the work hardship to use life. And
It's legitimately.
You don't want like, to be honest, I don't even mind education at all. But if you compare our like, we don't really have someone.
Yeah. Actually, from like talking about it, like we doing something thinking about it.
For me, like, 0 is reasonable. I'm just doing this because I want to. Exactly, that's why I don't mind not getting paid.
I'm volunteer at Park.
Very good.
Every day. I work from 7 to 10, so I'm looking on Friday, 7 to 8. I would not volunteer.
I only send you 2 notes. Yeah.
I thought you have to volunteer. But I thought they're not supposed
If we lower their dues now, they're gonna quit. So we have to lower the next year's expense.
Forgot about I wish I could have the
Every morning.
I don't know, everyone knows.
I didn't know anyway. I guess this year it's like 55, right? Well, it was a mess. It didn't like really look like it.
You can't say that because.
Other medicines are here.
Diversity of all fields.
We didn't have someone running for a physical center.
Shapiro actually is a lot better than.
I'm gonna fly next year.
Just like taking
Alright, so there's a motion on the floor.
Motion to add community breakouts.
Second.
Are there any objections?
No.
Second.
Hearing and seeing none, motion is adopted.
Chair, there's a hand.
Yes?
We'll see. I'll talk about that.
About the, no, I can forward them, after.
Oh, no, I sent an email, they said you're.
So is there a motion on the floor at this time?
I motion to take item number 6 off the table.
Is there a second? All right, hearing is, are there any objections? Hearing and seeing none, motion is adopted. Item 6 is taken from the table, so now we'll move on to 6.2. Interview for Senate intern position, Kyle Christian Cruz Anderson. All right, so if you would like to come up and then give an opening statement, then we will ask you some questions, and we'll go through, and then we'll let you make a closing statement.
Actually, you can stand wherever you're comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, up to you.
I
didn't expect it to be this big, so I will be a little nervous, okay?
That's right, just do your best. So you'll have 1 minute to give your opening statement. Please let the Senate know anything that you think we should know. Your time will begin once you start.
Hi, I'm Kyle Christian Cruz Anderson. So my name has a hyphen between it, it's Cruz and Anderson. I'm a first year student, so I'm a freshman. And my major is international studies, but I'm also working towards double majoring in political science as well. I'm applying, or I'm trying to interview for the process, I'm trying to become a Senate intern because I believe that it's a great way to learn how student government is run here, and it's a very, very early introduction to how student government is run here at ACI. So I believe that as a Senate intern, I'll be able to do a lot of the labor that is required for senators and be able to learn the process of legislation, how legislation is made here at ACI. So.
So then we'll now move on to questions. So our first question is, how familiar are you with the work of the Senate?
I believe that they create policy and they manage how government runs here. But to be perfectly honest, I'm not completely sure what the Senate here does. So I'm here to learn and really immerse myself in how the Senate here works.
What previous experiences have you had that would help you in this role?
I've actually held a lot of leadership roles back in high school. I was the president of my mock trial team. I also held a co-presidency in my Model United Nations Club, and I also held a lot of small leadership positions in other clubs as well. And I believe that all my roles in high school, all my leadership roles, will really help me prepare for the Senate internship.
What skill or quality do you have that sets you apart from everyone else?
I believe I mentioned in my application that I believe I have a sense of perception. I understand things way before they're voiced, and I take observations of what's happening around here, and I stay within the loop so that I can make informed decisions. I can know what to do ahead of time, or at least be informed enough to make those decisions. So I believe that perception is my main most important skill.
What are your commitments next quarter?
Currently, I am trying to be on the Model United Nations team, and I do plan on working, but as of right now, I do believe that I could prioritize this extracurricular, this position, before everything else.
So with that, I'll now open up the floor to Senate to ask questions. Just before we begin the question segment, please try to avoid personal questions like what are your affiliations with Greek life or so on. And also, please just try to be conscious of time, to give them a little bit of time as well to give a closing statement. All right. So Senator Martinez and Senator Devonani.
Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm one of the engineering senators. And can you please provide us an example where you had to take the lead in a group setting to overcome an obstacle?
The greatest obstacle that I had to overcome was a lack of commitment with my vice president back in mock trial, back in high school. I was treasurer at that time, and our club really needed fundraising activities. It really needed funding so that we can go to competition. And I decided to take the lead on raising those funds so that we can go to competition. And because of the lack of commitment that my vice president had, because she had other commitments and she prioritized those commitments before mock trial, I decided that mock trial is an important thing and it should be a club there where everyone is committed. Everyone is willing to give the same amount of effort that I am and everyone else is giving that effort as well. So I decided to set up some fundraisers and eventually we were able to raise enough funds to get to competition and set up a supply for next year as well.
Thank you.
Sorry, Damavandi?
So, I'm Brian, one of the bioscience senators. So can you please describe your leadership style, or your leadership style?
Okay, my leadership style is basically me failing to delegate. I will admit that. I have problems delegating because I like to do all the dirty work. I like to put myself out there and do the work for my team. And I will delegate, but there are things that I like to get done my way. So I would probably be very hands-on. That is my leadership style. And as a leader, I believe that you should really get along well with your peers and with your colleagues and with the other people and with your teammates because it is a team. So we put each other on an equal level and we respect each other in the same way that I want to be treated. So it's a very, very loose but also very hands-on leadership style.
Can I ask another follow-up?
Actually, we'll go back to Senator Martinez and then back to you.
Okay, and then what skills do you have that will help you excel at this position, and how do you plan to implement your skills?
I guess my skills would be, like I said, the perception thing, where I do believe that I can observe things and make informed decisions before those things are voiced and before they apply. So I take the time to understand the situation and I make sure that I can make predictions of what's to happen and I can often adapt to those situations and do what I believe is best. So I believe perception is the best skill that I have. Another skill that I would have is also listening. I believe that I'm a very good listener and I take the time to pay attention to everything and to take into account everything that I've learned, to observe as much as I can and to really absorb it so that I can make use of the information that I've learned.
Thank you.
Sorry, Damavandi?
Okay, what ideas or something that you want to see happen that you would think would benefit the student volunteers involved?
I would like people to be more involved in student government because as a freshman, I have very little perspective on how things are run, but I do notice that maybe a lot of freshmen, especially first years in my year, aren't very involved in student government, or at least I haven't heard of anyone else who are applying for these positions or who would like to be part of student government. I believe that student government is an important part to really make your voice heard, to really voice your opinions.
So I'm Randy, I'm one of the bioscience senators. So my question to you is, are you smart or do you work hard?
I guess I would say a little bit of both, because it's not give or take. It's you need both. You need smarts and you need to be hardworking as well. But there are things that you need to learn, and there are things that you already know, but things that you're willing to learn as well. So hard work and smart, I guess.
So if you can be a fruit, what would you be in life?
I guess it'd be a banana, because it's very, you can put it on anything. You can mix it with anything. You can make it into smoothies, banana pancakes. It's very versatile. It's very delicious. It's my favorite fruit.
My name is Saul. I'm a at-large senator. My question to you is, although it is not mandatory for the interns to attend the Senate meetings, if you were chosen, would you attend the Senate meetings?
Absolutely. I would do my schedule to be able to attend those meetings.
Hi, I'm Annie, ASUCI President. So a part of being in ASUCI is to represent the student needs and instead of our own political agendas. So could you tell us about a time when you have to go against your personal belief public way to go?
In a small situation, I would say that there's sometimes where I have to stand up my own beliefs so that I could tolerate others, because I believe that not all things should be voiced. There are opinions that you need to keep to yourself, especially if people don't necessarily agree with you. So to be able to put your own beliefs down, especially talking about more moral, maybe religious issues, I tend to stray away from those, and I wouldn't say much on the subject so as not to offend someone else, because I believe that staying maybe a little bit neutral in those situations is a little bit healthier, especially in a group setting where people are talking about interests or like beliefs. I believe that it's better to stay neutral, or sometimes maybe just take a safer route when you're talking to other people.
If there are no more questions then, you have about 1 minute to close. Yes?
So, are you familiar with Robert's rules?
Robert's rules.
Are there any more questions? All right, hearing seen none, you'll have about 40 seconds to make a closing statement.
Okay, so again, I'm Faculty Chris Anderson. I'm interested in becoming one of the Senate interns, and I believe that I can really bring my hard work, my perception on things, and my willingness to put my effort into this position. And I believe that I can succeed as well as share what I have, offer what I have for the Senate, and ensure that student government here becomes a very important part of UC. And in the same way, it benefits me as well, because I do believe that I'll be able to voice my own opinions and really involve myself on what happens here in student government and campus.
Thank you for coming in today,
Thank you.
and we will let you know of our decision as soon as we have made a decision.
Thank you.
Do we have top last time?
Oh, we did it? Oh.
Yeah, no, we can.
So having been done, we'll move on
Yeah,
to our next.
it's only public comment, because public comment, we don't want to direct anything towards any public.
I feel bad now. Is there anyone else?
It's okay.
We
tried.
That's why I want to say. Oh, are you coming in?
I can tell.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, you don't even know what's going on, so don't you at least like tell them?
Come
in today, so come to the podium.
Come to where? Sorry.
Oh, to the podium here? Or wherever you want to, you feel comfortable with the interview.
Yeah. May I take my back off? Hello everyone, my name is Dong Do, and I am a candidate for the Senate intern. So I'm a second year computer science major, and a first contact or really know about ASUCI is because in spring quarter I attend the academic senate in shadowy program. It's kind of, I can be a visitor to those academic committees to see their meetings and how they express their feelings, and to try to be a student representative, I can say. So in that meeting, I find out how schools make decisions between professors. They're from different departments, and I can see their opinions, see their ideas with their perspective, and also listen to the voice of student representatives and to make the school better. And I wanted to join ASUCI because I think I have the abilities and I have the willing to use my voices to make our school better.
Thank you. So we'll now be doing the next section of the interview. So I'll go ahead and ask you questions, and then after that, the floor will be opened up for the rest of the Senate to ask you questions, and then if there's any time remaining, you will be able to make a closing statement. So my first question is, how familiar are you with the work of the Senate?
Excuse me, it's where I can't hear you.
How familiar are you with the work of the Senate?
My working experience kind of come from the shadowy program last year, so I'm kind of a little bit confused about what's the difference between this Senate and academic Senate, but I think this Senate is more kind of presenting my own background, kind of like as an international student or as an ICI student studying computer science. So I think that's basically the difference. And
What previous experiences have you had that would help you in this role?
okay. My experience, of course, as I mentioned, I was the shadow lead for spring quarter, and I think in that experience, I learned that how people having their different opinions from different perspectives, and I learned how to respect them and listen to their voices. And to myself, I'm trying to see how they're expressing their opinions. Like they started from the thing that they see and concern about every aspect of a certain problem and like communicate with each other, understand each other, and make a decision that's everybody's interest, I can say. Yeah.
What skill or quality do you have that sets you apart from everyone else?
I think one thing is probably because of my background. Because I'm an international student and also ICS student, so it's kind of a combination because we all know that there's a lot of international students in ICS school, and I think I can speak for them. And also, I think I'm the kind of person who are always having like new ideas, but at the same time, I'm willing to listen to other people's ideas, and I think that's kind of my advantages.
What are your commitments this quarter?
Sorry.
What are your commitments this quarter?
Commitment to myself or as this intern?
Well, like, basically, what does your schedule look like? What are you doing this quarter?
What do I do?
Yeah, like, what are your commitments?
Like classes, work, clubs.
Okay, I understand. So I took 4 ICS courses this quarter, and they're basically all my courses right now. And I am new to a club called Circle K, just for meeting new friends. So and I also wanted to devote my time in ASUCI jobs because that's what I wanted to do for this quarter mainly. Yeah.
Okay. So if that, the floor will be open up for the rest of the Senate to ask you questions. We'll begin with Senator Damahadi.
Hi, I'm Brian, one of the ASUCI senators.
Hi.
So, how well do you time manage?
My time management? Okay. Basically, I use my daytime at school and also doing homework. And also, I'm willing to attend all kinds of activities. I just came back from the ICS 50th anniversary meeting. They have another seminars there. So I'm willing to attend those workshops that related to my field and meet more people. And in nighttime, I like to hang out with friends or, of course, doing a lot of homework that we have as a computer science student.
Senator Luke?
Okay, as a Senate intern, you're expected to work in groups. Can I ask you, how familiar are you working with groups in terms of a lot of subjects, because in Senate you're going to deal with that?
Okay, as my experience, I can talk about my experience in high school. I was a kind of project leader for a student entrepreneurship program, and we kind of always work together because we have the same mission, but we have a lot of things to do, so everybody is a part of it. And what we do is basically we make the plan together, like what lines we're going to head to, they're different, and each one is going to get their own mission, and we complete that together. If someone has a problem, we can help each other. And we always have seminars and meetings, like every 1-2 weeks to see if each other's going. Yeah, so I think it's very important in a group to communicate with each other and to collaborate each other and help each other, and we can make progress together.
Senator Martinez?
Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm one of the engineering senators. And then I want to ask you, what are your goals after you graduate?
After school, okay, I choose computer science, and I heard a lot of my classmates and also friends from the same major told me that they choose computer science partially because their parents willing or they wanted to make money. But I'm not agree with that. What made me wanted to be in computer science is I'm really interested in those innovating ideas to make changes, to make our life better. They may seem a little bit naive, but that's what I really want for as a student in computer science. So I would like to choose a job and really make something to make our life better, not no matter in a big company or in startup, but that's what I do to make changes and make our life better.
Senator Goodman?
Can I ask more than one? I just ask one that might wait.
You can ask one and wait if there's a
So you're a computer science major, right? Not like a software engineer or anything else.
Yeah, just computer science major.
So did you enter UCI with a comp sci degree or I mean, as comp science or major, or were you some other major before?
Oh, I was in mathematics major in my first year, but I have already transferred to computer science major.
Senator?
Sorry. I just want to make sure that you understand the intern's position in the Senate, that you will be assigned work by the senators. It might be a program, or might be trivial, small assignments that you have to finish, and that this will last a whole year. Are you ready for that?
I'm ready for that. I would like to devote my time in this work.
All right, President, then Senator Vani.
I'm Annie, the ASUCI president. So my question is, what is the accomplishment you're most proud of that's not listed on the resume and can never be on the resume?
Accomplishment? Okay. I play an instrument. It's called Youqing, and it's a very traditional Chinese musical instrument, and nobody knows. But I played that for about 13 years or more, and I never would say that in my resume because it's kind of unrelated to any other stuff. But it's my hobby, and I have done it for years.
Yes, Senator Vani.
So although it is not mandatory to attend Senate meetings as a Senate intern, would you be attending Senate meetings?
Sorry, my hearing problem.
So although it is not mandatory to attend Senate meetings as a Senate intern, would you be attending the Senate meetings on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5 to 7?
Of course, because when I apply it, I saw this time, and I'm so lucky that I have time for it every week, so I'm willing to attend every meeting.
And Senator Goodman?
So I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Brian. I'm one of your computer science centers. So actually, I'm also an international student like you, and I'm also doing computer science. And over the years in the student government, the school of computer science is not really represented well, or we didn't really have a strong representation. And being both an international student and a computer science student, how do you feel? What do you plan to do? What do you plan to do in the Senate so that we could be more represented in the student government?
You mean speaking as my background as international?
I mean, what program do you think of trying to do, or trying to help?
So the time for the interview is actually expired. So with that, the interview is concluded. So thank you for coming in today, and we will let you know our decision once we have reached a decision.
Thank you very much for your question. Thank you.
Yeah, we timed it for 10 minutes so that it doesn't
Makes sense.
take the whole interview.
Yeah, I don't have
Because there's so many.
That's all.
Okay, so that was we have to respect the rows. I am sorry for saying the knowledge of you being in major.
No, I have
Not
So we're gonna go ahead and proceed with the next interview. So. Right, so you'll have 1 minute to make an opening statement, and then we'll go ahead and ask you questions. So in that time, please tell the Senate anything that you think we should know, and you may begin.
Hello, my name is Yoon-Kyung Hwang, and I'm from South Korea. I'm international, my major is criminology, and I love dancing, I'm not good at it, and I also do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I really enjoy that. It makes me feel alive, so that's why I'm really into it. And I'm really close to minority community in Korea, which is North Korean community, because my grandfather is North Korean, and I have a friend, North Korean, escaping from North Korea. So I worked with them, and I did a lot of jobs, so I was really close to minority community in Korea. I can speak Korean, English, and conversational Spanish, because my major was Spanish in my high school year. Yeah.
Alright, so we'll now go ahead and move on to a question segment of the interview.
I'm Brian, I'm your ICS editor. So how familiar are you with the work of the Senate?
I'm sorry?
How familiar are you with the work of the Senate?
The Senate.
Yeah.
ASUCI Senate or US Senate?
Like basically, what do you know about what we do here in the Senate?
I believe Senate has a responsibility for approving the budget for the fiscal year and approving or rejecting any legislation brought up to Senate and recommendations for amendments the ASUCI constitution, or Senate by law, and election code. And the members of Senate has also responsibility for meeting with the dean of their respective school to address concerns their deans or constituents may have.
What previous experiences have you had that would help you in this role?
I was a part of a student government in my high school year, and Korea is kind of conservative country, so we had a rule that if vice president candidate is a female, then president candidate has to be male. Same sex cannot be on the same team. But I found that a lot of students, over 90% of majority students, thought that this wrong rule, because they can also be, female student also can be charismatic and independent, and male student also could be sophisticated and delegate to do their job. The rule was regulated by adults, teachers and all the faculties of the schools, because they thought there is a role for male and there is also a role for female. And I found that the students' opinion, and I also thought that is wrong, it has to be changed. So I tried to persuade the advisor of student government, because in Korea, the student government is not really independent as in US. So to change the rule or regulation, we should have approval from the student government advisor faculty. So I went to him 3 times a day for a week, and I tried to persuade him. But first, I had to understand him. I had to put myself in his shoes to understand why he thinks like that, and his standard, his moral standard, and his the things that makes him think like that way. So I really tried hard to understand it, and I gave him an example of students who are doing really well in their job. For example, a female student in leadership position in program or clubs, and male student who is doing like secretary job or something. And I finally, after a week, succeeded to persuade him to change the regulations. So in that year, we actually got a male president and male vice president. So I think the persistence that I have work ethic too, and I'm really ambitious and passionate, and I'm not really afraid to speak out what is wrong or the thing that people think that it has to be changed. So this experience is going to be really helpful to do my internship in ASUCI Senate. Thank you.
What skill or quality do you have that sets you apart from everyone else?
I can say that those skills that I already mentioned, and I'm really used to approach to others, which means how to deal with others, how to understand them, how to be their perspective. So, yeah, and since I'm really familiar with minority community in my country too, I'm really used to know their feeling, know their stance, know their perspective. So I can use that skills to work as an intern in ASUCI. And as you know, there's a lot of Asian international students in UCI, but they can really come up to speak their opinion or their perspective because the cultural thing makes them like that way. Because we're very conservative, like speaking out, stepping out, or volunteering could be seen as being arrogant. So we don't really do that, that's why. So I could be a representative examples to them that actually they can do it and this is not wrong, and encourage them to be in public, to be with friends with domestic students, and increasing the involvement of international students, especially Northeast Asia country students, of UCI programs or festivals or various things, school life. Thank you.
What are your commitments this quarter?
Getting unless over 3.5 GPA and having volunteer or internship experience to be more involved in UCI. Because as a freshman, I really want to be involved in UCI from the first start so that I can be more active or like I can do more things after in my college life.
Senator, so now I will open up the floor for the rest of the Senate to ask questions. So Senator Damagandhi, then Senator Kuneman.
Hi, I'm Brian. I'm the biological sciences senators. So, can you please briefly describe your leadership style?
My leadership styles is like dog's leg, which means when dog is floating on the water, like they looks really like calm and like silently just like on the water, but at the same time their legs are moving really fast and really hard under the water. So like people think dogs are really chilling on the water, but they're really not. So my leadership style is basically comprehending and observing students first, because I have to know like their personality and their characteristics so that I can reach out more easily and more friendly to them, and I can, allocate the works or the project to their strong aspects, like match it to it. Yeah. So that's basically leadership style.
You mentioned about how lots of international students don't want to speak in student government, and you mentioned that a reason could be because they are conservative.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your main reason, or do you think that there are also other reasons why international students don't want to speak in the student government?
I have been in this UCI campus from the summer because we're part of summer program, and I met a lot of Chinese, Japanese, Korean, like Indian people, and also a lot of American people too. And I came to realize that domestic students think international students as they don't really want to be a friend with us and they ignoring us, but at the same time international students also think domestic students don't want to be a friend with them and they're ignoring them. So like same misunderstanding is going around in both groups, and no one's want to like came out to say that, hey, how are you, or like, hey, you want to be a friend, or like you want to go this together. Like they don't really do that. Like they just like misunderstanding each other, keep doing that. And in international student perspective, they can't do that because just volunteering, like stepping out, could be some arrogance, and they are not really used to that kind of thing, so they are not tend to do that. And the cultural thing, the communication skills is all different. Like for example, you want to speak about it, you want to talk about it, is very common in America, I guess. But to international students, when you say you want to talk about it, it's very awkward thing. It's very weird. Like if you say that to them, like international students, like who the are you? Like telling me that talk about this, like kind of that. So those are very afraid situation and atmospheres going around international students. So it prevents them to be in more public. Yeah, I guess.
And so with that, the time for the interview has expired, so that concludes this interview. We'll contact you and let you know our decision once we get into the decision. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
More, right? More? Yeah. More? Last year is another.
Because this job doesn't make money.
We have a
I like her.
International Senate.
I love them.
I will have to be with the director.
All right, so you'll have 1 minute to make an opening statement, then I will go ahead and ask you questions, and then I'll open up the floor for the rest of the Senate to ask you questions. You may begin when ready.
Okay, so my name is Abraham Rubalcaba. I'm a first year here at UC Irvine. I live with 3 other friends of mine who are from high school, and we live in Mesa Court, Playa. I am a physical science student as well, or I'm a chemistry student hoping to double major in biology in hopes of, later on going to graduate school and then getting a higher degree in biochemistry. And currently I'm here to explore the other side, because typically scientists usually don't dabble in student government or politics. I'm here because I want to see the other side, see how everything else runs on the other side, usually the funding, because of course scientists, we depend on funding for our research projects. And I mean, that's pretty much me.
So my first question for you is, how familiar are you with the work of the Senate?
From my understanding, the Senate deals with legislation here at UCI. If I recall correctly, you guys set the stance of ASUCI, or where ASUCI stands. That's more or less my extent of my knowledge of the Senate.
What previous experiences have you had that would help you in this role?
Previous experiences I've had is that of course, like I said, I've tried to dabble a little bit in politics before. Not necessarily politics, but I was I was an officer for various clubs, Key Club, and then our Cancer Society Club, as well as the Cooking Club. And yeah.
What skill or quality do you have that sets you apart from everyone else?
I would personally say adaptability, but not in the sense of adapting to a certain environment, but taking in information and giving feedback, because if you just take information, you can't really do anything with it. If you take information and give feedback, so if I see there's something wrong, I would of course speak out and see if that problem or whatever it is can be fixed, or at least bring it to light.
What are your commitments this quarter?
This quarter, I would like to get used to University Live, see how the classes are, how my professors are, how everything works. I want to see how do I put it? I want to get the ball rolling. I want to get the ball rolling, see how it works, see what works for me, see what doesn't work for me. That's why I'm trying to dabble with, within different various clubs, organizations, as well as ASUCI.
With that, I'll open up the floor for the Senate to ask you questions. Senator Delavante.
I'm one of the BioSci senators. So, as a senator intern, you would be expected to work in groups. How well can you work in groups, and what is your leadership style?
What was the first part?
So, as a Senate intern, you are expected to work in groups. How well can you work in groups, and what is your leadership style?
Well, I think I can work in groups very well as long as everyone does what they're supposed to do. My leadership style wouldn't necessarily be as a, not leader, but as a dictator. I wouldn't take full control. I'd let other people, of course, give me feedback, and I'll give them feedback on how they're doing their things and how they can improve upon it, as well as I would love to receive feedback on how can I improve my leadership or my leadership of them.
And then Senator Martinez.
Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm one of the engineering senators. And my question for you is, can you provide us an example where you had to take the lead in a group setting and to overcome an obstacle?
I remember last year, I took AP Physics C, and we had to build a roller coaster. Terrible idea to do it last minute, so all of us were scrambling. So I told them, no, let's stop. Everyone come to my house, we're gonna do this. And we had one day to do it because it was due the next day. Yes, high school students, I'm sorry. But I took control. I told them, you guys are doing this, you guys are doing this, I'm gonna do this. Everyone do your thing. And thankfully we got it done. I mean, 4 hours before the deadline at 4 in the morning, but we got it done with a little altercation here and there. The police were called on us. That's a different story. But we overcame the problem with enough organization and with enough feedback of each other and collaboration.
All right, so President Lay, then Senator Matt.
Hi, Ham. So in student government, we're supposed to represent the interests of students instead of pushing our own personal beliefs. So what is an example of a time that you have to go against your personal belief for the greater good?
Time I had to go against my personal belief for a greater good. Well, let me go around that. Specifically to your question, I can't recall a certain instance where I had to go against my personal belief, but I have had certain times where I've self-sacrificed and gone against my personal interest for the greater good. I remember in academic decathlon, instead of working towards bettering myself, I took time out of my own schedule to help other people, other peers, to help them with their study skills, their interview skills, their different, what specific subjects they were studying, to help the whole group, our whole team, to succeed in the competitions.
Senator Matt?
So 4 a.m. is not an ideal time to finish a project. So in reference to that, how would you better manage not only your time, but the time of a group when you're working together in a group, such as Senate intern?
Like I said previously, organization, we weren't organized. So the first thing would be get everyone together, at least set up a rough outline on when things are going to be done, and then you know, of course, things will vary. People have, you know, different occasions or different things come up, and then try to work around that basic outline. But make sure that outline is rigid enough that you can get the things done accordingly and with enough time.
Senator Damavandi?
So if money wasn't like a financial thing, what ideas would you want to see worked on to benefit the whole student body?
Money wasn't an issue. I would probably like host a series of days where everyone can, each senator can host like a conference to the students, of course, like show them this is what we're doing, this is what I'm doing for you. And it would be a conference, so tell the students to come here, they would ask you questions, you would give them feedback, and then whatever feedback they gave you and see what your specific, let's say, school needs, if you're a school senator, then come back to the Senate and then ask them for, let's say, the funding for this specific, I don't know, request by the students, by the majority of students.
Senator Martinez?
So my question for you now is, what are your goals after you graduate?
Like I said previously, my goals after graduating would be to go to graduate school, hopefully, and get a degree, master's degree in biochemistry, and then go on for a PhD in biochemistry, and in hopes of working in the industry. I don't know what specifically. That's why I would like to see and take different courses to see what interests me. So later on, I can specialize and work in that specific field or specialization. Thank you.
President?
So with your brothers being one of the at-large senators, so how will you hold yourself accountable to assist, provide equal assistance to all the other senators instead of favoring some senators over the others?
Well, just because my brother is a senator, I would not discriminate. No, I would not give him favoritism because, of course, he's my brother. I still don't know any of you guys, but I know for sure I will get to know you guys. But that doesn't mean just because you're my friend or you're not my friend does not mean I will give you special treatment. This is not what we're here for. We're here for the students. So we should all be here for the same reason and have not favoritism towards each other.
And with that, that concludes our interview. So thank you for coming in. We will contact you with our decision once we reach the decision.
Thank you.
How can intern give a favor to a senator?
Physical sciences. I rarely see
Just
anyone
like-
here.
By that I mean just only focusing on helping one senator and not really looking out for the other senators.
Wow.
There's nothing that I have questions about him. It's just for interview purposes.
It's just kind of strange to me.
So we'll now move on to our next interview. So you will have 1 minute to give an opening statement, then I will ask you questions, then I will open up the floor for the rest of the Senate to ask you questions. In your opening statement, please tell the Senate anything you believe we should know, and you may begin when ready.
Well, the reason I applied for this internship was to I want to get accustomed to the ASUCI, and I also want to get involved in activities. And I was part of class council and ASB in my high school, and I really loved helping people out and pretty much organizing things for my school. So I want to continue that in this school since this is a higher education. And for the internship, I want to help a senator out, so that after that, I can probably apply myself as a senator or a different position. So then, as in turn, for the whole organization, help out other people. And what I see myself as contributing to this thing is pretty much like helping more people and like pretty much bringing more people into the program and bringing more resources to the body of students. And yeah.
My first question for you is, how familiar are you with the work of the Senate?
The Senate, I'm not really that familiar. I know that maybe the Senate does, what's it called, help pass, what reviews the things that legislation passes. And I don't know if it deals with the funding, because I don't know if it does deal with the funding, but it maybe has different committees to do that, so.
My next question is, what previous experiences have you had that would help you in this role?
Well, like I said before, I was part of ASB and class council. Unfortunately, I wasn't like a president or vice president for that, but I always be involved and I always go to like the meetings and all the gatherings and all if they had an event, I would always be the first one there and always take the last one to help out my learning group.
What skill or quality do you have that sets you apart from everyone else?
Well, what I really want, I'm really excited. What I really want from this position very much is like help people out. I really like helping people out. That's the main reason I pretty much did ASB and class council, was to help people out, because just when people are like really feel safe in their school and at the time they're having a good time and they know there's resources out there and for us to help them out and just make everything like a better experience. I pretty much enjoy that personally. That's what I think is good.
What are your commitments this quarter?
Can you repeat the question?
What are your commitments this quarter?
Like, what do you mean by commitments?
So classes, jobs, any other obligations?
So for me, I'm a chemical engineering. I'm doing math 1A. I'm doing writing. I'm doing engineering 7A, and I'm doing philosophy. And I am part of EK, which is the Chemical Engineering Association for UCI. And I'm also part of ChemiCar, so I participate in labs because I know labs aren't a thing for freshman year. They're usually for second year and third, so I wanted to get involved in labs. And I did apply for a job, but I haven't received feedback for that. And I also that's one clubs I've been part of so far.
So with that, I'll open up the floor to the Senate to ask questions. Michael?
Oh, yeah, me. You mentioned that you're taking Math 1A as an engineering student. You might be behind. You might be behind the crowd.
No, I know they may think it's behind, but I looked at the course plan that UCI offers and taking Math 1A. I mean, sorry, I said 1A or I meant to say 2A.
You said 1. Oh, you meant to say 2A.
2A, sorry. I still get the courses confused.
Oh, there you're good to go.
So Senator Zamavandi?
I'm Brian, one of the biological scientists in the group. So, as a second intern, you would be expected to work in groups. How well can you work in a group, and how well do you time manage?
Well, I always time manage, like in high school, I always like time manage my things because I know I took a bunch of AP classes, and right now I'm also time managing because I know college is different from high school. So if you don't time manage, of course you're gonna fall behind. So I always time manage, so I have an agenda, and I always like try to do my homework before a week. And for the working together in groups, I participated in engineering all 4 years in my high school, and I would always be working in groups, building robots or building things. So I have 4 years of experience of working together with groups. And since I'm part of engineering 7A, we also have a group where we build a software.
Senator Martinez?
Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm one of the engineering senators. And my question for you is, why did you choose chemical engineering to major in?
Communication, my sophomore year I took chemistry, and then for the final project, it was the chemistry of something. And a bunch of people did the chemistry of pizza or a bunch of food. But I didn't want to do that, so I did the chemistry of nuclear energy, which really was fascinating. And then I really want to do I want to specialize in fuel and energy. So because I know coal, I know the world is having crisis with fuel, with using coal and oil. So I wanted to use nuclear energy. I know it's been used in the past, but maybe better technology so we can use it. So we can use it better society.
Senator Matt?
How would you describe your time management skills? Oh, you did? All right, so here's my other question I was going to ask. What is a tool that you think you are most like? Like in a basic machine shop, what is the tool you're most like?
Like in a wood shop or
like a workshop, like a hammer or something.
I feel like I'd be maybe the power cord.
Power cord?
Power cord. supply power and energy to the people.
Okay.
So I know maybe I'm not like a hammer or something that do very well, but as a power cord, maybe I can feed and help the whole system because without the power cord, so really nothing works.
President Lay?
Since it's interesting in your applications, one of the first things you mentioned was the judicial branch. So I'm going to ask something related to that. Since as you can see, the ASUCI is structured a lot like the United States government. So we have our own constitutions. So would you categorize yourself as an originalist or living constitutionalist? So in other words, do you believe that we should preserve the original meaning of the Constitution to maintain its values? Or do you believe that the Constitution's meaning can change over time to reflect current values?
Well, I feel like since I always want to preserve the Constitution, just like in the American values we have and preserve today, I would fight for the Constitution, just like the Constitution that the UCLA has established. Of course, some things from the Constitution may be unconstitutional or may violate some rights for people, but we can always do an amendment to change it. But if people want to change the Constitution because it violates something, then that'll be an open discussion for the Senate.
Senator Mavandi?
So, what is your leadership style? Do you tend to go with the flow, or what is your leadership style?
Well, usually I would go with the flow, but if there needs to be a leader, I would always take the leadership, and it depends on how the people are. They always gonna like. Usually, I wouldn't want to be a leader, because maybe work with the others, so we can all become leaders, and like we all can all put things. Because if there's one leader, the other persons are just like putting things in. So maybe we can all be leaders, and we can all bring ideas in. That's what
Senator Martinez?
In your application, you said that the judicial branch is made up of members that hold the individual rights and organization rights. What did you mean by that statement?
Like they preserve just the Constitution, and they hold the rights that they have for their fellow classmates. So like the rights they have that everybody has. So they hold the rights for people, and they can hold those by passing legislation or passing things.
Senator Mavandi?
So you mentioned that there are issues within the UCI committee. If time was not an issue, if time and money was not an issue, what idea would you want to bring to the student body to fix an issue you see as a threshold?
Well, and I put an application. I feel like some people, as main freshmen, when they go to UCI, and sometimes they can't make friends, or sometimes they don't have there's resources out there, but they don't have to like get them. So if I would not want to like implement something so that everybody has like the resources and no one's like alone, so people can like make friends and no one feels like they're lonely or they don't have enough resources. Since that's what is about, to provide for the students.
Any more questions? With that, you have about 30 seconds to make a closing statement.
Thank you everybody for letting me for this interview, and I really appreciate everything. I'm really glad that I got to do this interview because I want to be a part of your community. So for us, we can strengthen our own community and we can make UCI a better place.
All right, cool. Thank you for coming in. And we'll contact you and let you know of our decision once we have made a decision.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there this way?
Yes.
Do we have another meeting?
Yeah.
Yep.
18.
What do we do?
So with that, we will now move on to item 9, committee reports. Rules Committee?
It was.
So this morning we had an interview with an applicant for the vacant senator position for the education, the School of Education, and we'll be discussing whether to move them on to the Senate or not. And I believe we have no further update.
Finance?
It was unanimous with 7 votes yes for the chair bill, And also, we're meeting with Robert and Kachika on Monday, 2 p.m. That's it.
Public information?
So we're going to be reaching out and contacting various clubs on campus. Just a small list would include like the Red Cross Club at UCI, BIPSHE, SSA, IMED, and other clubs, but just to make them aware of the funding of MPFC, SPFB, TGIF, and SIP. So we'll be doing that and giving ourselves a deadline of this coming week.
Advocacy committee?
So once again, we do not have quorum, so we were unable to make a vote on whether or not to endorse the $66 fix.
With that concluded, we'll now move on to item 10 under immediate business. We have no items under immediate business, so we'll now move on to item 11, school breakouts for 15 minutes.
Oh, I was gonna say, do you just want to move the bill to immediate business just to get the chairs quicker?
Well, the reason we can't do that is because it has to be on the agenda for transparency, so it'll have to be on for Thursday. We're now on school breakouts.
Motion to end school breakout.
I second. Are there any objections?
I object.
All right, the secretary will now go into a roll call vote. Vote in the affirmative if you would like to end school breakouts. Vote in the negative if you would like to continue school breakouts.
If we all had shorter names, that wouldn't take so long writing them.
Like me.
Senator Gabra? Senator Cervantes?
No.
Senator Chua?
No.
Senator Lee? Senator Lopez Polito?
No.
Senator Danhash?
No.
Senator Rubalcaba?
No.
Senator Damavandi?
No.
Senator Damavandi?
No.
Thank you. Senator Yam?
Yes.
Senator Lim?
No.
Senator Liu?
Very good, no.
Senator Martinez?
Yes.
Senator Guneman?
No.
Senator Saba?
No.
Senator Kuriakos?
Yes.
Senator Munoz? Senator Mapp?
No.
Senator Artunian? Senator Halaka?
No.
Senator Sandhu?
No.
Senator Shergill?
No.
Senator Gill?
No.
Senator Calderon?
No.
Senator Chi?
Yes.
Senator Ubu?
No.
The nays have it.
All right, motion fails. We will continue school breakouts.
I thought we were voting on.
You voted all?
You got it.
It would have speed up really quickly.
It's good to your school.
I just mentioned it if I forget to like ask her.
Two other I'm done. Are you gonna do that? I want to see how
Hey, question, you know this? Okay, so this, we're doing a survey.
No, I think your questions are good.
Hey, physical science center.
Oh, there's
Not science. Engineering is science. It's better than physical sciences. It's to get a job. More like, you can't actually. You can't. Use certification. So you don't have a degree. You don't have a degree in engineering. You need a degree in engineering. ABS. You take ABS classes and you get ABS. You get an ABET, ABET.
We're all estimating a lot. There's two estimates. Ones are like 50.
Where's Valerie?
But everyone in there is either like,
Oh, you said that? Yeah, like,
Guess who made up dynamics?
but do you think?
Tell me who made dynamics up.
I object. Can I answer for 400? I don't know who made that.
how do you pronounce
You want the truth, kid? You want the truth?
It's either a physics person or a math person. There's a high
They said the same thing with like.
Oh, I don't think, I think they do a lot of work.
They're like in their office, like math.
Yeah, they do much more work than that. They work much
They were working.
I think they use more hours.
It's not true. That's why I know, I rolled my eye, guess. Because you said everything. There you go.
Genetically speaking, we invented, well, I think we.
Crazy.
How did that even happen?
I feel like there's a lot of money.
I think everyone's, I think everyone's.
Yeah.
I'd like the motion to end, school breakout.
Second. Any objections? You can see none motions adopted. Will the second please raise their hand once? Second.
I'll put it down. Put it down.
So now we'll move on to final business. There are no items in the final business. We'll now move on to announcements. So, as I said earlier, we're working on finishing establishing the intern program. We also have the whole ASUCI meeting today in Doheny Beach A. From 8 to 9, so please try to make it. Other than that, I have no announcements. Are there announcements from anyone else? Hearing and seeing none, we will move on to item 14. Is there a motion on the floor?
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Is there a second? Are there any other? I can take a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any sections? Hearing and seeing none, motion is adopted.